Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. Tonight, we're diving deep into her mind at 2 a.m., those haunting hours when your absence becomes a presence of its own. We'll explore why women feel safe with certain men, how to make her feel like a queen even from afar, and the secret reasons women fall deeply in love with men who know themselves. This isn't about cheap tricks or toxic games. It's about real, powerful love, the kind that is forged in respect, emotional intelligence, and unshakable masculine presence. It's about understanding her fears, desires, and vulnerabilities in a way that commands devotion without ever demanding it. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, if you're ready to become the kind of man whose absence is felt more powerfully than others' presence, this video is for you. But before we begin, take a moment to like this video if you want more of this raw, timeless wisdom. Subscribe to join the Stoic Golden Tribe, where men commit to being better lovers, leaders, and warriors of the heart. And drop a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts, your struggles, and your victories. Now let's go deeper. Let's understand what really happens in her mind at 2 a.m. when you're no longer there. Chapter 1. The Silent Hours. Why her mind turns to you at 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. She lies in bed staring at the ceiling. The world is quiet, but her mind is loud. That's when memories of you rush in, sometimes gentle, sometimes brutal. You see, the late hours strip away all distraction. There's no pretending at 2 a.m. That's when a woman's heart is raw and her fears are unguarded. And if you want to understand her, you must understand this moment. Most men ignore it. They think attraction is just about words or gestures when she's awake and alert. But the real power, the kind of power that makes her heart yours, even in your absence, comes from being the man who can hold her even when you're not there. It's not about physical touch anymore, it's about emotional safety. Because a woman's mind at 2 a.m. is a battleground of doubts. Does he really see me? Was I enough? Is he thinking about someone else? Was it all just a game? When you were there, truly there, you quieted those doubts. Your words, your presence, your integrity made her feel like a queen on solid ground. But if you left her with uncertainty, dishonesty, or indifference, then at 2 a.m. she's haunted by it. This is why men who know themselves, who are unafraid to be clear about what they want and how they feel, command such loyalty. They eliminate confusion. Emotional intelligence isn't a soft skill for nice guys. It's the edge that separates the forgettable from the unforgettable. So let's talk about what you, as a man, must master if you want her thinking about you at 2 a.m. with longing, not regret. First, presence. Presence isn't just being there. It's being attuned. It's listening without waiting to speak. It's watching her body language. It's knowing when to challenge her and when to hold her. It's the rare masculine gift of making her feel safe enough to be completely feminine. Women are starving for presence. Most men can't give it. They're glued to their phones, obsessed with their egos, lost in validation seeking. When you can drop all that noise and give her your undivided attention, you're not just standing out, you're transforming her, because she doesn't just remember what you said or did, she remembers how you made her feel. Second, consistency. At 2 a.m., she remembers your patterns more than your promises. Were you reliable? Did you say what you meant? Did your words and actions match? You want her to feel safe? Make sure she never has to decode you like a cryptic puzzle. Most men oscillate between interest and indifference, affection and withdrawal. This is a recipe for anxiety, not love. If you want to be the man who lives in her mind at 2 a.m. like a warm memory, you must offer her something rare in today's world: emotional certainty. Third, emotional leadership. This isn't about control, it's about guidance. A woman wants to feel safe to surrender her heart, but she can't do that with a man who is lost, reactive, or immature. Emotional leadership means not escalating when she tests you. listening even when you're angry, setting boundaries with respect, being vulnerable without being needy, showing her that even if she's emotional, you are unshakable. This is the foundation of trust. Without it, no woman can truly relax. Fourth, vision. You want her thinking about you at 2 a.m. Give her something to believe in. Most men just want her body. Few offer her a future. When you have a clear purpose, when you invite her to be part of a meaningful journey, you give her the gift of hope. A queen doesn't want a jester. She wants a king with a kingdom, a man with a mission that needs her feminine magic to make it complete. If you're wondering why she still thinks of you long after you're gone, it's because you offered her these things, intentionally or even by accident. If you're wondering why she doesn't, it's because you didn't. But here's the truth. It's never too late to learn. Emotional intelligence isn't just a way to get women. It's how you deserve them. It's how you ensure that even if you leave her bed, you never leave her mind. At 2 a.m., she doesn't miss the man who played games. She misses the man who made her feel safe enough to dream. So be that man. Drop this in the comments if you're committed to being the man she feels safe with, even in your absence. I attract, not chase. Chapter 2. Make her feel like a queen. The lost art of emotional abundance. At 2 a.m., when she's turning in bed, your absence speaks volumes. Not because you're gone, but because of how you made her feel while you were there. Did you make her feel replaceable? Or did you make her feel like a queen? This is where most men fail spectacularly. They think making a woman feel like a queen is simping or weak. They confuse devotion with submission. They don't realize that women don't want to rule over men. They want to belong to a man strong enough to treat them with reverence without losing himself. A man who knows how to make a woman feel like a queen is not desperate. He's secure. He knows that abundance isn't just money or options. It's emotional generosity. Let's break this down because it's critical. 1. Recognize her uniqueness. Most men treat women like categories. She's hot, cute, my type, not my type. But the man who makes her feel like a queen sees her. He notices the way her eyes light up when she talks about something she loves. He listens to the stories that shaped her. He remembers details no one else does. At 2 a.m., these are the memories that haunt her in the best way. It's easy to make a woman feel desired. It's much harder to make her feel seen. And if you want her love to run deep, you must choose the hard path. 2. Don't worship. Appreciate some men in trying to make a woman feel special go too far. They put her on a pedestal and forget who they are. That's not making her feel like a queen. That's making yourself a peasant. Women don't want to be worshipped. They want to be valued. To appreciate her is to see her strengths and flaws honestly and love her anyway. You say, I see who you really are and I choose you. That's rare. That's magnetic. At 2 a.m., when she's alone with her doubts, that memory becomes her sanctuary. 3. Set boundaries with kindness. Women feel safest with men who are clear. If you let her walk all over you, she loses respect. If you dominate without care, she closes off. The balance is leadership with compassion. Boundaries aren't for punishing her. They're for protecting both of you. When you say, I won't accept being spoken to that way, or I need time to think about this, you're showing her that your self-respect is non-negotiable, but when you say it calmly without cruelty, you're also showing her she can trust you with her worst days. At 2 a.m., she remembers the man who wouldn't let her push him away, even when she tried. 4. Make her feel chosen, not owned. Possessiveness is insecurity masquerading as love. But genuine selection is power. When you choose her freely, when she knows you could be with anyone but you want her, you give her something priceless. Freedom within commitment. You don't own her, you invite her. You say, I don't need you, I want you. That difference is everything. At 2 a.m., that's the difference between her feeling trapped in memories of a controlling man or feeling cherished by the thought of you. 5. Emotional availability without weakness. A queen doesn't want a man who buries his emotions in stoicism so deep he forgets he has them. But she also doesn't want a man who collapses into her arms needing mothering. The balance is emotional honesty without making her your therapist. You can say, "I'm struggling with something, but I'm working through it." You can show her that vulnerability is strength when managed. She wants a partner who will let her in, but also protect her from being forced to carry his unresolved baggage. At 2 a.m., she remembers the man who shared his heart and his spine. 6. Celebrate her femininity. A queen is only a queen in the presence of a king. If you want her feminine softness, you must offer masculine safety. You make her feel like a queen by encouraging her dreams, protecting her spirit, challenging her when she's wrong, but with love, giving her permission to be soft, knowing you'll be strong. When you do this, she blossoms. At 2 a.m., she doesn't miss the man who competed with her. She misses the man who completed her. 7. The power of deliberate words. Men often underestimate how words echo in a woman's heart. Casual cruelty, sarcasm, neglect, it stays with her. But so does. "I'm proud of you. I love how you think. You're beautiful, and it's not just how you look." These words don't cost you anything, but they are priceless to her. At 2 a.m., she replays them like lullabies. Or she lies awake haunted by your silence. Which one do you want to be? This is what making her feel like a queen is about. It's not money, it's not gifts. It's the rare art of showing her she's irreplaceable while never losing yourself. It's knowing that the stronger you are, the softer she can be. That's the mark of a man she will think about forever. A man who lives in her dreams, not her nightmares. A man whose memory she doesn't try to escape at 2 a.m., but wraps around herself for comfort. Be that man. If you're ready to make her feel like a queen without losing yourself, drop this in the comments. I build, I don't beg. Chapter 3. Women love differently. Understanding her emotional blueprint. At 2 a.m., she doesn't think like you do. A man's late-night thoughts often drift to solutions, strategy, regret, or lust. A woman's mind in those silent hours becomes a theater of feeling. If you want to be the man whose absence is felt as painfully beautiful, who leaves an imprint on her heart instead of a scar on her soul, you must understand how women love differently. This isn't about manipulation, it's about mastery, emotional mastery, relational intelligence. The modern man is lost here. He expects her to think like him, to love like him, to forgive like him. But the truth is, women process love through emotional connection, not logic. So let's dissect this. 1. Emotional safety over physical attraction. Yes, she may have been drawn to your looks, your body, your voice. But at 2 a.m., she's not longing for your jawline, she's longing for the way you made her feel safe to be herself. Most men think attraction is about seduction, but for a woman who has experienced real love, it's about sanctuary. When you offered her understanding instead of judgment, patience instead of pressure, she felt safe to reveal her raw self. At 2 a.m., that memory floods back. It's why she cries missing you even when she knows she shouldn't. 2. Emotional contagion. The energy you leave behind. When you leave a room, you leave energy behind. Your calm can soothe her even when you're gone. Your chaos can haunt her in the dead of night. Women are extraordinarily attuned to this. When you're emotionally intelligent, you recognize that your mood, your words, your reactions ripple into her heart. Did you offer her stability? Or did you leave her seasick on waves of your inconsistency? At 2 a.m., she replays every moment looking for patterns. She asks, was he safe? Or was he dangerous? Did he love me? Or did he use me? Your presence trains her nervous system. A man who makes her feel calm, even in conflict, is unforgettable. A man who triggers survival mode anxiety is unforgettable too, but in all the wrong ways. 3 women bond through vulnerability. At 2 a.m., she remembers your walls or your windows. Did you let her see you? A woman doesn't bond through your bragging or posturing. She bonds through your honesty. When you shared your fears without asking her to fix you. When you admitted you didn't have all the answers. When you let her see the man behind the mask. You weren't weak, you were human. She loved that man. The one who didn't need her to mother him, but didn't hide from her either. At 2 a.m., she doesn't miss your status. She misses your truth. 4 women love. Through nurturing. Her instinct is to nurture, but nurture isn't coddling. A woman wants to pour into you, but she only does that for a man who respects what she gives. If you dismissed her support, if you mocked her softness, if you took and never gave back, you burned the bridge to her deepest love. At 2 a.m., she remembers whether you let her in. Because while men often measure love by loyalty, women measure it by welcome. Did you let her love you, or did you treat her like an enemy? 5 women. Remember what you make them feel. This isn't poetic nonsense, it's neuroscience. Emotions create memories. She doesn't recall every word you spoke. She remembers the tone. She doesn't remember every date. She remembers your attention. She doesn't remember your resume. She remembers your presence. Did you make her feel cherished, safe, seen, inspired? Or did you make her feel anxious, unworthy, confused, unimportant? At 2 a.m., she relives those feelings, and those feelings determine if she smiles at the thought of you or wipes away tears. 6 women need certainty to bloom. This doesn't mean predictability or boredom. It means consistency, integrity, honesty. She doesn't want every detail controlled. She wants to know you are solid. When you say you'll call, do you? When you say you want her, do you act like it? When you say you're loyal, do you prove it? A man who cannot be trusted to keep his word creates emotional chaos in her body. At 2 a.m., her mind tries to solve the puzzle of you. A man who offers clarity isn't just desired, he's needed. 7 women want a man who chooses growth. She knows you're not perfect. She doesn't need you to be. She needs to know you want to be better. Women love differently because they see potential, but they don't want to be your rehab. She wants to grow with you, not raise you. At 2 a.m., she remembers the man who took responsibility for his demons, the man who admitted mistakes, the man who tried. If you want her to think of you fondly at 2 a.m., be that man. Because here's the truth. Women don't fall in love with men who have no flaws. They fall in love with men whose flaws they can trust. A man who is honest about his darkness, but committed to his light. A man who refuses to stay stagnant. A man who makes her feel she's part of something worth building. When you understand how she loves, you stop playing games. You realize her heart isn't a prize to win. It's a kingdom to be entrusted with. You become the kind of man whose memory wraps around her like armor on her weakest nights. At 2 a.m., she doesn't miss the man who broke her down. She misses the man who built her up. Be that man. If you're ready to understand women and love them with emotional intelligence, drop this in the comments. I lead with strength and heart. Chapter 4. Building Unbreakable Bonds. The legacy you leave in her heart. At 2 a.m., the silence is deafening. That's when the truth about you is loudest in her mind. It's not the flowers you bought her. It's not the gifts you gave. It's the bond you built or didn't. Because real love isn't made of grand gestures. It's forged in the small, consistent choices that tell her, I'm here, I see you, I choose you. This chapter is about understanding the art of building bonds so strong that even in your absence, especially in your absence, she feels them. It's about leaving behind a legacy in her heart she can't help but hold on to. 1. The power of reliability. Men often underestimate the simplest truth. Trust is attraction. It's sexy to her in a way your abs never will be. Reliability doesn't mean you're boring. It means you're solid. When you say you'll call, call. When you promise to show up, show up. When you commit to change, actually change. This consistency gives her the freedom to relax. At 2 a.m., that's what she remembers, not the fireworks, the foundation, because a woman can't truly be feminine, soft, playful, vulnerable, unless she feels she's safe to fall. Be the man who makes falling feel safe. 2. Emotional transparency. Without emotional dumping. Here's where most men swing too far in one direction. They're either closed off, emotionally unavailable, a wall she can't penetrate, or they treat her like their personal therapist, offloading unprocessed pain onto her. Both kill attraction. Emotional intelligence means you share what's real, but you own your healing. You can say, I've been struggling with this. I want you to know, but I'm working on it. That tells her. You trust her. You're not hiding. You're not asking her to fix you. It's a rare balance, and it's magnetic. At 2 a.m., she remembers the man who let her in, but didn't drown her in his chaos. 3. The masculine gift of reassurance. Modern men scoff at this. They think, why should I reassure her? That's insecurity. But this is foolish arrogance. The masculine gift is certainty. It's saying, I want you. I choose you. I'm not going anywhere. Without being asked 1,000 times, it's being so sure of yourself that you can put her fears to rest instead of fueling them. At 2 a.m., she's not calculating your words. She's feeling your certainty. When you withhold reassurance to stay in control, you're not being strong, you're being weak. A strong man isn't threatened by her fears. He calms them. 4. Intellectual and emotional stimulation. You want her to think of you at 2 a.m. Don't just give her orgasms, give her thought. Most men are so focused on seduction, they forget conversation. Real bonds come from hours talking about dreams, fears, philosophy, goals. Show her you're not just flesh, you're mind and soul. Ask questions no one else does. Debate with respect. Listen deeply. At 2 a.m., she doesn't remember the lines you fed her. She remembers the depth. She remembers the man who challenged her mind while comforting her heart. 5. Holding space for her emotions. This is advanced masculinity. Any man can seduce her when she's happy. Few can hold her when she's falling apart. Women are emotional beings. That's not weakness, it's their gift. But to fully embrace her femininity, she needs to know she won't be punished for feeling. You hold space when you let her speak without interrupting. Validate her perspective without always fixing it. Stay calm even when she's emotional. Offer gentle truth without cruelty. At 2 a.m., she remembers the man who made her feel safe even when she was vulnerable, messy, real. She remembers the refuge you gave her in a world that demands she always be strong. 6. Leadership without control. A woman craves masculine leadership, not domination, not control. It's saying, I know where I'm going, I'd love you to join me. But it's never. You're coming whether you want to or not. It's inviting, not coercing. Women surrender to leadership they trust. You don't earn that by barking orders. You earn it by living a life that inspires her to follow. At 2 a.m., she remembers whether you made her feel trapped or free, whether she lost herself in you or found herself beside you. 7. Making her feel wanted, not needed. This is the final piece, and it's crucial. Neediness is repulsive. It says, I can't live without you, complete me. Wanting is magnetic. It says, I'm complete on my own, but I choose you, freely. When you need her to fill your emptiness, she runs. When you want her because she adds to your fullness, she stays. At 2 a.m., she remembers the man who didn't cling to her like a lifeboat. She remembers the man who opened his arms like a home. Because here's the truth. At 2 a.m., she is most honest with herself. No masks, no performances, just truth. And the truth is, women don't want perfect men. They want real men. Men with scars who aren't ashamed, Men with strength that doesn't need to hurt her to prove itself. Men who choose her daily even when it's hard. Men who lead, protect, build, inspire. Men who make her feel like a queen because they treat themselves like kings. That's the man who lives in her heart long after he's gone. That's the man she compares everyone else to. That's the man she will always want, even at 2 a.m. If you want to be that man, don't chase. Don't manipulate. Don't perform. Build yourself. Master yourself. Offer her something real, because real men don't haunt her nightmares. They hold her even when they're gone. If you're ready to leave that kind of legacy in her heart, drop this in the comments. I build unbreakable bonds. Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Let's build a brotherhood of men committed to mastery, presence, and powerful love. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, stay golden.